Hey, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Marissa, or Marisa, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's up to you. Both are right. Thanks for coming back to my channel. I share relatable stories about stuff, currently mostly surrounding around mental health, because that's the things that I'm kind of dealing with in my own life right now, and sharing about it helps me process things, and it helps me get through some hard times. And also, I think talking about it now will help me if I'm stuck in a rut in the future, or if I'm having a moment of doubt. This will hopefully be a video I can turn to in the future to help reframe whatever that mindset is, to help myself get out of that moment, because it's important to be able to do that while you're going through it. Anyway, I'll get more into what I'm talking about without giving away too many details, because I do want to keep some things private to me. I do want to talk about some of the struggles I've been facing, but I also want to keep some things vague just for my own privacy. So what I will say is that recently I've been dealing with some setbacks in my mental health. I would describe it as a regression at one point, and I feel like that's a really good way to put it, because I believe that the peaks and valleys that everyone faces, mine were just a bit too up and too down too frequently, and one of the ups just led to a really hard down, and it led to a moment where I had to really think about what to do next, because the next steps could really either help me get better and move into a new direction, or would help me, or would not help me, and would lead me down a completely different path. So obviously, for the sake of myself and my kids and my family, of course, I wanted to get better, and decided to do this thing that I'm doing, which again, I want to kind of keep it vague. But I do want to say something about it, and that's that I think that the current school system, especially the schools where my children go and are enrolled in, they're already learning about emotional intelligence, and maybe not entirely about emotional intelligence, but they're learning about feelings and what types of feelings exist and how to react to them, and what appropriate reactions would be in certain situations. And I think that's monumental for 6 and 7-year-olds and elementary school kids to be able to learn at such an early age, because I grew up, and I'm sure many people of my generation probably too, did not grow up learning about A, feelings, or B, even how to manage them, let alone, express them. I feel like that's unheard of, to even express your feelings. So yeah, so I just want to say that I really commend especially our school district for really going above and beyond and teaching our kids how to manage their emotions in the moment, because I'm an adult and I'm literally still learning how to do that. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal. So anyway, what I want to talk about is that I'm taking some classes on mental health, on how to manage my mental health better. And some of the things that I learned about this week include mindfulness, which we did some yoga in that class and really learned about breathing and being in the moment, and especially when you're stuck in a moment of self-doubt, or when you're just feeling those negative feels, that if you can relate, you can relate. If you know, you know. That in those moments you really do have to bring yourself back to where you are in the present, and state facts to yourself, take deep breaths and remind yourself where you are right now, because your thoughts can and will lead you down another path, and they will create their narrative. But if you are able to remind yourself that your thoughts are not facts, they're literally just your thoughts, and bring yourself to the moment where you are, that can really help you get through that moment. Then also we had a class on emotion regulation, and how to identify the appropriate emotion for the situation, because sometimes we overreact to certain things, and that's just what we know. That's how we learned to how to react. But sometimes it's good to step back, take some deep breaths, and really analyze what's going on before having a major outburst or emotional reaction. But of course, it's easier said than done. I'm just talking about the things we're practicing and learning about. I'm not saying that these are all things that I know how to do or that I'm learning how to, that I've learned how to manage. I'm just saying that these are the things we're in the middle of discussing and kind of like learning how to do. So I'm just sharing that because I feel like it's important for everyone to be able to know how to do those things. So that's why I'm here telling you what I'm going to do. So then on the second day, and then we also did like group talk and talked with amongst our small groups about some things that we're going through as well. Then on the second day, we talked about some of our core beliefs and how they develop over time, where they stem from, and how they kind of make you who you are as a person, and how they lead you down like the path that you become who you are. Then we had more group talk and with our small groups, and then we talked about forgiveness of self and others, and why it's important to forgive yourself for reacting to the situation in a certain way rather than necessarily forgiving the person for what they did, because that's hard depending on what it is that you are dealing with or processing. Again, I'm trying to be a little bit vague, but at the same time I'm trying to give some feedback, and it's hard because I don't want to share too much. So forgiving oneself is a really important lesson that we do have to learn how to do, and regardless of how hard the circumstances are that we face, we have to forgive ourselves for feeling whatever it is that we're feeling while we go through it, but we also have to find a lesson within that circumstance and learn something from it to be able to accept it, to move forward and grow from it. And then we also had a group or a discussion class on the fear of failure and what it means to you to fail and things like that. Then the following day we had expressive therapy, where we drew a tree of life where every piece of the tree represented something else in your life. So the roots, the earth, the trunk, the branches, the leaves, everything had a piece of life attached to it from your own, and you're supposed to kind of label the tree based on your life experiences, and it kind of like shows who you are and how you grew and where you want to go in life. And that was a pretty neat exercise because it was very introspective and it made you dig deep, and you had to really think about the goodness within you. And sometimes when you're not in that mode, it's hard to find, but it's good to reflect on. And it also reminded me why it's good to have a gratuity journal, because when you see it on paper and you're writing it down and you have a visual in front of you, it's much easier to believe than just it being in your head, because again, your head will just kind of like make up its own narrative, whereas if you see it on paper, it's more solid and there. Then we had more group talk, and after the group talk we had conversations on reframing, which was probably one of my favorite topics so far. And we talked about reframing the negative mindsets that we basically grew up with, to reframe a mindset from negative to a positive. That was the topic, and it was a really interesting one, and how it can be really easy. It can be really easy to say, to think I don't deserve love, and to simply change it to I do deserve love and I can be happy, but you really have to believe those things, and those also stem from your core beliefs, and obviously it's all intertwined, and all of these topics also touch on each other, but we do have separate classes on each of them because it helps us understand more about the things that individuals are going through and how we're processing it and why we are the way we are. So yeah, I feel like I said a lot, but at the same time just talked about the different things I've been learning this week. But I do want to kind of reiterate that for myself and others, that if you are in a tough spot in life right now and you're finding yourself hopeless or at a wit's end, and that you feel like you can't talk to anyone, or you don't know who to trust or whatever, I want you to know that there is someone out there that wants to talk to you and help you. And if there's no one in your life right now that you know that you can do that with, please come to my channel and message me, because I would love to hear from you. Seriously, everyone in this world has a purpose. I really truly believe that, and sometimes it's really hard to find that purpose and that reason in everyone, but I do truly believe that everyone has it in them. And if we lead with our hearts and if we lead with our love that we have in us, you can impact others. And when you impact others in a positive way, it really does help feel something within you that also makes you feel really, really good about yourself. So I hope that if you're feeling stuck, you can find some hope and know that things do get better. Tomorrow does come, and you are here for a reason. You are wanted, and you are enough, and you matter. You matter so much. Don't forget that. I hope this is a reminder for myself and for others that life can be beautiful. It's just a matter of how we think about it and the perspective that we have about all of our situations that we're facing. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye!